If you're looking at it online, I'm way too close to you right now. Hang on. Here we go. Is that better? I got some headroom now. How you doing in there?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
Screwing with the camera right now. Wait a minute. Hold on.
It's so funny because it's like you're looking at it like,
Yeah, I
do I
don't
need
like
to sit
looking
up?
at
Do I need
myself
to?
that way. And I also had to open the window because I got to know if it's raining. Who gives a crap? All right, here we go. Lead on live. Y'all get in here. Do we have an Iran deal or don't we? Do we, don't we, or do we, don't we? It's breaking news about the last hour and a half that the Trump team has come up with some. It's multifaceted, and here's the thing. A little backstory. If you're from Trump's world, which is commercial real estate development, this things are cut this way all the time. Deals are done sort of in LOI form, letter of intent. You've got two or three parties wanting to get together, say to build a shopping center, and everybody gets on the same page before the details are crafted, and then things can be put in motion. So this feels like a big LOI to me. So here's what I think we understand about whatever this is, and we'll see how the markets react. So far, not any sharp reaction from either the oil markets or the investment markets. But what we understand is there's a 60-day period during which they're going to allow the strait to reopen, and the ceasefire will continue. The commerce can go ahead and start flowing, and then they're going to work on the details about the nuclear material during that 60-day period. I don't like it. I don't like the way it sounds. I do trust Trump is super sophisticated at deal making because that was his life's work before he became president. But you're also dealing with the Iranians, which is akin to trying to hit a fart with a tennis racket. It's kind of hard. They are mysterious and they behave like vapor, and they're all over the place, and they won't hold to anything that they put on the paper. As long as this regime's in place, there's going to be trouble. Now, the Trump team, some of those deal points got out, and how many times have we seen this in the last maybe 6 weeks where the deal points aren't legit? What's being floated out there is either coming from one side or the other, or some news outlets pretending to have information, and the deal points aren't precise. That sort of gums up the works in some way. So we'll see through the afternoon if any of this is validated by the Trump administration. Todd Bessent, the Treasury Secretary, just came out and did a news conference. Didn't get to see the whole thing. I've seen some clips of it. But he's basically saying there is a tentative ceasefire extension on the table, a continuation of the nuclear talks. The goal, of course, is just to get the strait open. Really, Iran wants it open too. We've got sort of a double closure. They're threatening flow. We're threatening their flow, and it's gotten complicated. But now Bessent says until the strait opens, none of this is effective. They've got to officially get out of the way, quit threatening people and trying to charge tolls. And whether they have the ability to actually close it or not is also comes down to just the vulnerability of the threat. In other words, they could bluff, and the carriers, the private entities that own these ships with millions of dollars and millions of barrels of oil are not going to take the chance. It doesn't take much to threaten that. You've got a floating explosive vessel that could be taken out with a small bass boat, with somebody with an RPG that could cause trouble. So that's been the paralysis. So the removal of the threat alone would have some value. Now, oil right now is trading at about $89. That is sub 90. That's actually good. And let me give you another dynamic from last night. We had what appeared to be the Iranians suddenly out of the blue attacked the Kuwaitis. And you're thinking to yourself, why would they do that? Well, they sent some drones, and I think maybe even some missiles. We responded by taking out all the drones and missiles they shot. They didn't connect. But why would they do that in the middle of these talks, which seem to be hours from some kind of announcement? Y'all, it's all about political willpower, and it's been this way the whole time. The Iranians' only leverage is to try to keep the price of a barrel of oil high. And they're counting on Americans being a bunch of, starts with a P, and it sounds like wussies, over oil prices and putting political pressure on our leaders. That has worked throughout the modern history of this country. The politics of oil, the politics of the midterms, they're counting on keeping the price up, which keeps the pressure up. Why did they do the attack last night? Price started dropping again yesterday. There had been several drops in a row. We had gotten down to about $88. The Iranians have yet to be able to really drive the prices as high as they thought they could. They actually war gamed this decades ago. If they could get the price of oil to be at $150, it crushes the world. It seizes the world. The world has to respond. There's an international hostage crisis over that barrel price. But they've not been able to do that. What they've done is made it expensive and largely inconvenient, but they have not made it paralyzing for the world, particularly the West. Why is that? Because this president had the foresight to go in from day one and ramp up production here in the United States. The Venezuelan situation is squared away, and now that crude will be online in weeks. We have renegotiated the whole tariff strategy was a renegotiation of some of our own exports, and that gives us strength here that put us on a footing that keeps the Iranians from controlling the price of oil. So when they see it slipping away from them and the barrel price drop, if you go back and track it, and I did this last night when I heard about the attack, you go back and track it, and every time they've done something spontaneous, it was when the price started dropping. It's as simple as that. They look at the price like you and I do, and they go, oh, we need to do something disruptive and keep that price up. They want to get it up closer to $100. But natural pressures, economics tend to solve all problems. They just do. They're just digits and numbers. They don't have a philosophy. They don't have a race. They don't have pronouns. They don't have a gender. They don't have a nationality. They're just numbers. And the numbers jump in there and tell a different story because market demand and supply and the summer driving season, all those are still bigger factors than Iran in the moment. But the nuisance that is the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, if you believe all this rhetoric this afternoon, could be at an end, at least for a period of time. So who knows? That's a very dry way to start the show today. But that's what I got right out of the gate. Man, we got so much stuff. We got a CIA agent that's been caught lying about his resume and stealing $40 million in gold bars. That story hit last night when the show was over, and I'm like, how in the hell does he get his hands on $40 million in gold bars? So we've yet to hear the complete story on that. He also had a stash of Rolexes. He had a bunch of cash. I think it was $13 million in cash. Said he had it, it was all there for him so he could do his job. And if you know the CIA, maybe it was. Maybe he had to pay some underhanded people to stage events around the world with some gold bars and some Rolexes. Everybody knows that's how the world works.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was just Hunter Biden's holding it for him or something. I don't know. But that story was intriguing last night as we continue on. We've had some fraud busts. And this time let me just kind of go through this quickly. This time it's focused on the autism funding that we do here in the United States. And this is just so insidious. So we had two women. Let me see if I can give you a little bit of the detail. Let me pull this back up. We had two women in Minnesota. Their mugshots came out last night. Naturally, they're dressed like they're straight out of Somalia. That's their new rap album. And here's their scam. They created two fake autism treatment centers with creative names like Smart Autism Treatment. And did they also have Quality Autism Treatment like the Leering Center? And so they set up the scam, and then they actually, instead of just putting ghost people as enrollees so they could bill the government and get money, they had real people, other Somalians, that they'd go to and say, hey, the government will pay us to treat your kid for autism. And they say, my kid does not have autism. Well, we know that, but if you enroll your kid, we'll give you a $300 kickback. So everybody's making money. The parent of the non-autistic kid that doesn't need autism treatment gets $300. This little group gets, I think if I read it correctly, it was $1,500 per child.
Now, look, if I was a parent and I walked up in there, I would have been like, and they told me, oh, hey, I know your kid ain't got this, but we're going to give you $300.
Yep.
Yeah. Either it's going to be like a bait card type of situation where they're going to try to get you on something, or, yeah, they ain't finna teach my kid nothing. My kid's still going to be, and I'm like, come on. Like, I get it. You hear $300 and you feel like somebody's going to give you that money.
Yep.
But you already know it's about to crash and burn.
The thing is, the money, they tracked some of the money, and it was going to an account in Kenya, Some of it was going to buy luxury properties. They were converting it straight to real estate. There was no autism center. The
Hmm.
kids weren't going for fake treatment. They just needed the kid's name and social security number. And the parent got a little slice for participating in the fraud. So they arrested these two women. And then the bigger picture on the scam got put out this afternoon, and they believe they have found 600 million. Y'all, the scandals, it is medical transportation services, it is autism treatment, it's hospice care, it's all these categories of government funding that are part of this scam. When you hear the bedwetters here in Alabama, the left wingers here in Alabama start beating their chest about Medicaid, this is all part of that same funding structure. The more money they can get dumped into it, the more states they can get to participate, the more people can scam it. And that's all they were doing, laundering federal money to themselves. The Democrats get it passed in Congress. Tim Walz takes over. He gets it into his state coffers, and then the scams begin, and everybody looks the other way. The government officials were not paying any attention to any of this. And so they found 5 different states, $600 million in the autism program alone. Some of that got announced this afternoon. Again, Scott Bessent, in the Treasury Secretary, doing his briefing this afternoon, spoke to some of this, and we're going to find out more and more. Let me just rephrase that. You bust your ass. Okay, you play by the rules. If you can't get a loan because you don't qualify, you just don't get the loan. If you're trying to start a business and you want to legitimately start a business, and you want to say go through the SBA program, boy, there are hoops and hoops, and some of y'all have done this, hoops and forms and qualification deadlines and business plans and performance you got to put together. Compliance alone, just to get considered, is a laborious process. You need professional accountants and advisors to help you pull your plan together. You got to find a partner institution that will lend with the SBA backing. It's just one thing, one after the other, and then you still can get turned down. These people just made up a business, went straight to the government, and got the funding and didn't do anything. And somehow there was no oversight. So it's not enough. I like that these women got arrested. I really do. And anybody else that's directly involved. I think they ought to also pop the parents, put them on the next deportation plane smoking back to Mogadishu if they also took money they knew they weren't due, because that's illegal. Smoking that out and proving it may be a whole different story. But nonetheless, get to the bottom of it. But the politicians that wantingly and willingly went along with this stuff, and Tim Walz for one, and the attorney general who's been caught up in this in Minnesota, California makes Minnesota look like a Sunday school picnic because the state's so much bigger and there's so many other opportunities for people to scam the system. And I've told you before, in the world of capitalism and entrepreneurship, you wind up with a situation where, say, you notice there are a lot of Asian nail places. So the Vietnamese will come here, set up a business, produce revenue, and then invite their fellow relatives and fellow Vietnamese from their communities here to teach them the business model, and they replicate the business model. It's the same thing with a lot of people that are of Indian descent from the country of India that learn the hotel business model, how to get one of these roadside interstate hotels built. There are a lot of Patels in the hotel development business. Instead of it's the same sort of process where you recruit family members to come here and you teach them the family business, and it scales. But this was just doing the same thing but with fraud. And again, that explains why people from the super hot, ridiculously sticky, humid climate of Somalia would want to go live in freezing ass Minneapolis, because that's where the getting was good. That's where you could set up these scams and get rich. Of course, that attracted people to go freeze to death. And they went. And they went to the proportion that now they have huge political influence in, and I'm about to wrap all this around for you. They have huge political influence in that state, in the city, and with the state's governor. They've even changed their flag to reflect more of a Somali-looking flag. So what does that tell you? It was the Democrats' plan all along. If you just look the other way and create the carrot to attract these people to come here to wreck the state and to change the the whole dynamic of the state so that we can get control. It works for everybody. Now, Democrats are completely in charge. They've got a population base of foreigners that came in just to get the goods. And hopefully, Homan and the gang will be able to continue to round these bastards up and get them out of here from every country, to send them to every country from which they hail. It's a mess. Well, and by the way, we'll never get the money back. It's gone. I know there's ideas of clawing back money. The Biden administration was shoving it out the door as fast as they could on their way out the door, and some of it's just completely gone. All right, we got plenty of things to talk about other than just money and financial scandals. We got crazy stuff in the news today too, and your phone calls. On another dreary day, storms are built up out there, and we are expecting possible severe storms this afternoon. We'll keep an eye on it. They kind of bubble up with the heat of the day and then kind of wane in the evening. We'll be tracking them for you. They did cause a lot of mayhem yesterday with some of the traffic conditions. So we'll be tracking those too. 545-9950. Lead 'em live, Chuck 99.5. Back here in just a minute. All right, let's do this thing. 224 Leland Live, Chuck 99.5. All American Metals, first up here on the show today. If you've got any kind of construction that you're thinking about doing, consider steel. I'm telling you, I would have done it probably a little bit differently if I'd had the help of All American back when I built my pole barn, because I would have saved money and years of my life trying to piece it together myself. With All American, you have a turnkey business. Gosh, I wish I'd known they were even over there. I was ignorant. I'm trying to keep you from being so. By just calling those guys and starting from scratch, they'll help you with the design work. That's a good process because they may challenge your thinking a little bit about the proportions and the size. Then from there, when you're ready to go, they'll produce a stamped set of plans. Once you've got a design that you're good with, you can use that for your lending or for your zoning approvals and all that, and then they'll produce the building in their factories right here in Alabama. They've got total control of every element in that package. And that's really important. You're not waiting on some supply chain issues. And they're going to produce that building, even bring it to you on their own trucks. Y'all, they've been putting up steel since the 1960s, and they know a thing or two about this process. And again, because it's fully integrated and they control their own production, the sheet metal production, the framing production, all of these elements, something's not exactly right. It's an easy fix. They're right here. It's All American Metals. What you're going to find are great guys, good patriots that have that more customization, better prices, and quicker turnaround than some of the big boys. You can trust them too. 2 generations over there doing the steel thing, All American Metals. You can get them at aa-metal.com. Again, residential applications, commercial projects, warehouses, retail build-outs, whatever, aa-metal.com. All right, let's hit the phones. We'll get our first call in here, and then we'll throw some more headlines at you in just a minute. Daryl is up next on a cell phone. What's up, Daryl?
Hey, Leland, I'm sorry for calling you with turbulence again.
You all right?
Leland, okay, and I love you, man. You got 3 boys like me.
Yes, sir.
And that's a good thing. I ain't got no girls. I ain't have to potty train mine. They just watching me. So
I got
the
you.
woman say thank you.
Yes,
they ain't
sir.
got to be my boy. But listen, Leland, what I come with today is this here. Leland, I've been stopped by 5 times on roadblocks through Birmingham, and I see illegals in front of me. You hear me? And I see white people in front of me, and I see black people in front and back of me. But they let these illegals go straight through Birmingham, the Birmingham police now.
Yeah.
And I got it on dash cam. You hear me? It's ridiculous. This mayor, something needs to be done. Go down to the courtroom, and you're going to see nothing but black folks and white folks get coughing up money. But they let them people go. I was telling you about chickens. I'm going to put my dog on these chickens. They told my dad he can't have no chickens. They give these people special privileges. And I don't agree with it, Leela. You can call me a racist or whatever. But my people have been through a lot, okay? And they told my dad he can't have no chickens in the city limits. And my son had a driver who was driving without a license. I had to go to court with it. But they let these Mexicans and all these people go away on the roadblock. They pull me, people ain't got no driver license. I show mine, insurance or whatever, and they let you go. Them people ain't got no paperwork. Me speaking no English. You speaking English now? I told the police. What you doing now?
See, the thing is, Daryl, we can't have chickens, but they can have pollos. That's how they say chicken.
Well, they can. They doing their thing, and this mayor, this woofing. I mean, you know what I mean? It's just I didn't vote for him. He let them have their way, man.
Right.
It's not good.
Well, it is a sanctuary city. He's welcoming. He's a very welcoming
but
mayor.
he tried to hide it, though.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
right. But see, he tried to hide it. Like, he told me he a welcoming citizen. Says, no, you're a sanctuary citizen. My eyes ain't blind, Leela.
Yeah, I know.
And I see what's going on. But I am mad at Trump on one thing, though.
What you got?
He lied to me. He said he was going to get rid of them folks. And there's other black people mad at him because he said it was going to be a mass deportation.
Well, they're doing it. The numbers fell off a little bit because of the shutdown. Hang on.
It's going to be over.
The Democrats, for almost 60 days, or I forget the exact number, shut the budgets down for some of these enforcement actions, and some of these people worked without pay, and the deportations continued. You can't get millions of people out overnight. Right now, the numbers are back up to about 1,200 a day. And you don't have any coming in. So it's net negative every day because you've stopped the flow and people are returning to their countries. But again, the Democrats are blocking facilities.
But they had the reconciliation deal, man. And,
Exactly.
I spend no money, and they finna do another one in a few days. They getting paid, and they should be. Hey, show me some action. Love you, Leland.
I got you, Daryl.
Go,
all right, Daryl. There's Daryl checking in with us to get us started this afternoon. 2:30. 545-9950 if y'all want to jump in here too. Headlines and breaking news when we get it. Lead on live, Talk 99.5. Hang on. 2:35, Leland Live. Let's go. Let's go. Lonnie's Furniture Company keeping that Memorial Day deal on the table for y'all through this weekend. Here's how it goes. You got a couple more days to get in on this. $100 off every 1,000 you spend. That can happen quickly. You go buy a nice sofa or maybe a living room group, and there's significant money in that, basically 10% off. And then, of course, there's special deals on a huge set of sectionals and recliners that just came in right before Memorial Day. We've been telling you about them for a few days now. A lot of folks took them up on that through the holidays, and they said we still want to keep moving them. So y'all go get them. Right off exit 280 on I-65. I always say it that way so you don't think I'm talking about Highway 280. It's off exit 280 on I-65 in the little town of Kimberly. It's a superstore. They've got an acre of furniture under one roof, and they will flat fix you up, even custom deliver if you want it. It's Lonnie's Furniture Company. 92 years. It's treating people right in Kimberly. And for a little while, they were in Warrior. It's Lonnie'sFurnitureCompany.com, LAUNIUS, Lonnie'sFurnitureCompany.com. All right, we got weather and we got traffic. Let's deal with that real quick. First up, AJ's been getting the phones ringing off the hook in there. Huge traffic jam on I-20 inbound. Tell us where that is, AJ.
Yeah, so I-20 westbound, mile marker 152. It's the Chula Vista exit is shut down. 18-wheeler flipped over. All 3 lanes blocked.
All 3 inbound lanes.
Yes.
And that's a choke point. If you're going on I-20, you get around Chula Vista. That's up there in the hills.
Mm-hmm.
If you're inbound, it's after the bridge. It's also near the Brompton area. Every time I see that sign, you know what I think? City of Brompton.
Yeah.
Every time I see it. Every time I see it.
I was like, there's a whole bunch of Bloods over there for some reason.
Every time I see it. I go back to old school hip hop in my head. Some people like to say straight out of Brompton, but there it is. All right, so be careful. If you're already stuck in it, it's difficult. I think that's the part where 78 and 20 merge. So you can't just dump off on 78, and it's difficult to make a U-turn. So some people are just flat stuck in it. And 18-wheeler wrecks, as many people know, are just way more difficult to clean up. It depends on what it's carrying and if it's hazardous. And it's just a big thing to move out of the way, especially when you got 3 lanes.
Yeah, they said law enforcement is on the scene from some of the reports I've been getting in from callers, but a wrecker is not there yet.
Don't have the wrecker yet. So don't get in that if you're heading toward Birmingham. And if you're heading away from Birmingham and you see it, keep on driving. Don't slow down.
Yeah.
You're going to cause trouble on the other side.
Your looking does not help.
Did I ever tell you about the time I did a TV news series on rubberneckers? And the way I did it was we started noticing how we'd be on at this little TV station. We'd cover, major car wrecks and stuff. And so we'd be on a scene, and I'd watch people across the road and how they were reacting to the scene. And so we just started capturing shots of people almost having accidents near wrecks until we got enough to make a whole story. We actually had people busted, just almost ramming into other people. And you'll see that a lot of times. You'll see 2 accidents. It's just because of the rubberneck. People lose focus.
Yeah. Well, and look, and I get it. If you see a wreck that's in the lane that you're in, or not in the lane that you're in, but like on the side of the road that you're in, don't slow down unless you have to. Obviously, law enforcement, you want to make sure people are safe. Try to move over if you can. Right. But don't like just stop in the middle of the road just so you can check, because your looking is not going to help them at all.
Before you take that call, don't take that call yet, because I'm gonna need to talk to you on these next 2. First, I've got an old man story that segues into the story that I just found on the New York Post. It wasn't funny, but we had a terrible rubbernecker not paying attention incident one time when I was actually covering a funeral here in Birmingham.
Oh.
Do you remember the story? It was I'll never forget this. We were set up, our TV station was set up on the side of the road. It was a big high-profile funeral because a sheriff's deputy had lost his life. So we were all at the church, tiny little church. Everybody's packed in there. It's 200 degrees that day. So we were sitting in the news van trying to stay cool in between the shots. Our competitive station, I'll just go ahead and tell you, it was Melina Cunningham with Channel 13. She was standing out there doing a stand-up in front of her camera position, and some guy came along and he was checking her out. AJ, this dude rammed into the back of the hearse.
Oh no!
And they had just gotten the body out of that thing.
No,
he would have hit if it had been 2 minutes before, he would have hit the hearse with the body in it of a story that was already had it had national coverage because this was a tragic situation. So here's how I knew it happened. I'm sitting in the front of my van and I see these. This is the punchline. I see these sewer pipes come flying by the van like missiles. Well, what the hell? There's pipes, PVC pipes, flying down the road past our van. And so I stuck my head out the window. This dude was driving a plumbing truck, and he had those pipes up on the rack on top. He started looking at Melina's booty, and he hit the damn hearse. Pipes go flying like missiles. It was a mess. Everybody's in the church. Organs playing, people crying, playing down by the river. Bam.
There's a lost load joke in there somewhere.
Oh, just be careful. It was a tragedy on top of a tragedy. All right, man. And then there's this, and let me give you this, and then we'll get back on the phones. Speaking of funerals, New York Post has put up a story, and I swear nowadays I double check everything as fast as I can, especially in a live environment, because you don't know how much fake is going on. And I'm presuming that the New York Post did their due diligence on this story too. But apparently at this particular funeral, here's another funeral story. Sometimes we just get stuck in these zones. These dudes, the pallbearers, are getting the casket out of a hearse. I'm trying to figure out where this was in Guyana. Okay, I feel a little better. At least this was happened in another country. So they go in there. There's 3 on each side as they do, and they take the casket out of the hearse, and it's a nice bright baby blue casket with blue flowers. Must have been the dude's favorite color, and the body falls out the bottom of the casket while they're carrying it. The body just tumbles out on the ground. There's video. AJ, it happened. It was in Guyana, though, so I don't know if that makes me feel a little better.
Yeah.
I don't know about the casket industry in Guyana. Oh, did they just nail it from the bottom? I mean, and there's some techniques to keep the bottom.
It's like,
out.
it's like that box, when you try to reseal it without taping it, you fold it in one end, flap it on the other, and then you do. So it's like you do a square, and then you just kind of just pray and hope that it can, be secure like that.
It's like a Tupperware when you don't quite get the lid on and you wind up spilling stuff. They didn't quite get that one right. Now, I've seen caskets pop open. I mean, you see stuff at funerals. I mean, we've seen stories over the years. But homeboy falls completely out the bottom of his casket.
Yeah.
Did they give you a refund?
I'm gonna say, look, if that happens, I want like a voice recorder like, "I'm out, I'm free."
Like, praise the Lord, it was hot in there.
It's a miracle.
Meantime, people are passed out.
Right. Hey.
And then there's a guy in the corner goes, "Well, at least no one hit the hearse like in Birmingham years ago." I assume that's how they talk in Guyana. I have no idea.
That would suck though.
What?
Just like you.
Oh, you at the funeral and the body?
Yeah, he just plops.
Hey, I sent it to you. Hold on. Did
gosh.
I send it to you?
Yeah, you sent it.
Take a look at it. Take a look at it. I got to get your cold reaction. AJ's always better when he hadn't seen it yet. So they just lined up. They start walking with brother. Boom. By the way, Guyana is down in South America. That's not where the Jim Jones thing happened, is it? That was why am I forgetting that? We all grew up on the Jim Jones story. I think that was Guyana, wasn't it? Or was it French Guyana? With the Kool-Aid and Jim Jones? I remember Powers Booth played him in the movie, and I'll never forget that. Yeah, funny stuff. All right.
It was Jamestown. Jonestown.
Jonestown.
Yeah,
was it in Guyana?
Yeah, it was. Jonestown, Guyana. Yep.
Is that where Guyana comes from?
That's so
you
messed
see
up.
it?
Yeah, that's so. And then they just
Dude.
wait a minute. They drop the body, right? The body drops, and they just kind of graciously just lay the casket on top.
What else you gonna do? You sense the weight shift. You're looking down at your boy. Cover him up. I think it was a decent thing to do.
They just
So to describe it to the audience, the bottom falls, dude falls, so they just lowered the casket back down on him. And it's like,
and then it's almost like they took the casket and just kind of scooped them back up in there and just like.
It's like, we're going to need a dustpan. Just dig the hole right here, man.
Oh, gosh.
That's tough, man.
I guess he wasn't ready to go just yet. He was like, "Nah, get me out of here."
I think I'm going to stage some kind of practical stunt at my funeral like that, along those lines. Like you said, put the automatic voice recorder in there.
Mm-hmm. Got to play like Leland Live is on your radio.
Leland dead. It'd be a whole new radio show from the grave. I've already thought about it. Birmingham Broker bringing you the show tonight. BeHamBroker.com, BeHamBroker.com. Y'all, if you got a car, truck, or SUV to sell, don't just go trade it in. I mean, I know you're in love. It happens. That new car smell will get you high, and you just want to get rid of the old one. You're tired of it. You're done with it, and you just want this new car so bad. But when you trade it in wholesale, it's thousands in difference of what your car is actually worth. I don't blame the car dealers. They've got to buy your car and get it ready to sell and market it and make $1 off it too. So they're not going to give you what it's worth. They can't. But you can get it what it's worth at Birmingham Broker. They'll handle it for you. And it's the ease of when you go trade it in, because you don't have to clean it and market it and fix all the things that are wrong with it and stand around talking to some moron in a Walmart parking lot about your car while they haggle with you. You don't have to do any of that indignified stuff. Let Craig and Keith do the undignified stuff. They're in this business. This is why they set it up, to help us with our car trades. Now, if you want to buy one, they will help you track one down. They've got customers all the time that want them to find a certain car for them, and they're very resourceful. But for the most part, what we talk about is their ability to get that thing sold for top dollar, even more so than us amateurs can do, because they have a unique marketing strategy to know where the car is worth the most. And then it's gone. You get a big fat check and off to the new one. You still can get the new car smell in your lungs, but get yours dealt with first. Trust me on that. It's BeHamBroker.com, BeHamBroker.com. All right, 251, Leland Live, Talk Net M5. If you wind up underneath one of these storms and have roof damage, man, it can come out of nowhere. Some of you have me tuned out right now because you don't have a roof problem. You got a nice, new, clean roof and you're not worried about anything. Boy, you could need Greg Nelson's phone number in a hurry if something does go wrong. So get ready. I'm going to give you the phone number for Storm Restoration Roofing here in just a minute. That's a heads up. Greg's an incredible guy, completely competent in the industry, almost 30 years of roof work. His whole family's involved in the business. You got 2 generations, a lot of pride involved in what they do, and do it right attitude that comes in handy when it comes to installation. It has to be done right, or the warranty won't be covered by the manufacturer of the materials. And on down the list, he can help you with your insurance claims. If you wind up with a claim, well, you can get sideways with your insurance company in a minute. If you let one of these fly-by-night roofers try to talk you into a frivolous claim, make sure your claim's legit and make sure you do the things. Greg will do these for you to demonstrate the claim so that you get proper coverage. You got to show all of the damage and how it happened and when it happened. There's a window you have to get this stuff done, so don't need to panic after a storm, but have this number ready in case you need Greg. It's Storm Restoration Roofing. You can get him at 205-542-3531, 205-542-3531, Storm Restoration Roofing. While we're on this frivolity, and this is kind of serious and frivolous, there's just been this sequence of judges lately getting in trouble. And we had the one here in Birmingham, I guess she was the probate judge, vicious accusations against this judge. And I forget her name, Yoshiba Blanchard. Yeah, because she was, Anaya Blanchard, that was her stepmother. I forgot when I was reading the story, there was tied to that case. Not directly to the case, but to Anaya. But she got in a heap of trouble, huge report. And by the way, I know some people are upset that this judge got removed, whatever, but this was a 9-judge panel, a judicial inquiry commission. These are not partisan people. If anything, they're to the left of center. You got to really screw up to get kicked off the court. And believe me, I've got a Republican friend that was kicked off the court years ago for this, not the same kind of behavior, but inappropriate behavior as a judge. I think we've got to really work hard to restore integrity back to the judicial system in this country. It's a problem all over. I would love to see these inquiry commissions happen all over the country because we've got judges. In this judge's case, she was saying nasty stuff to employees, being abusive to lawyers, lots of racist comments, taking a lot of personal time to do what she wanted in the middle of serious cases. The bigger problem was she wasn't following the law in a number of cases. She was substituting her judgment for what the law said, and judges can't do that. And to me, that's the biggest problem. The fact that she had no class and didn't know how to behave in public was one thing. And now we got another story, this one out of North Georgia, and this one is, this one's got, this is a federal judge. The difference in a federal judge, there is no judicial inquiry commission to kick them off the court. The only way to kick a federal judge off is through an impeachment by the United States Congress. They have to go through an impeachment process. This judge, her name is Eleanor Ross. Have you seen this story, AJ? Over in the 11th Circuit, just right across the state line over here. Apparently, she's been getting it on in her chambers very loudly. And in one case, we believe one of them was a law enforcement officer in there, pounding the gavel, if you know what I'm saying. And
they've been playing hide in the cuffs.
They said he brings his own handcuffs. What are you going to do? The story goes that lawyers, her clerks, everybody in the courthouse could hear it. Federal judge.
Not guilty.
Federal freaking judge, man. Apparently, she oversaw the Chrisley case, that Todd Chrisley guy, the reality show guy. She was overseeing his case. Here's what else happens. When these judges get tossed, inevitably, they're going to be people that have had business before these judges that are going to be, I guess, within their rights to start filing lawsuits based on whatever bias is accused or demonstrated or neglect or ignorance of the law or any of these things. So this could create a domino effect of numerous cases when you've got corrupt judges that don't know how to act when they get a little bit of power. Some people just don't know how to behave if given a little bit of power. And some of these judges, you throw a robe on them, suddenly it's like they've been crowned by God himself to do anything they want. And they do. They have incredible latitude in those courtrooms. I spent better part of a decade covering a lot of trials, mostly murder and crime trials, a couple of big high-profile civil trials. And it's amazing how different judges do it. You can be in one judge's court and you swear to yourself he's been asleep for the whole trial. But then right when he's needed, he wakes right up and makes a ruling. They just dial it in. You got others that rule with an iron fist. I'll never forget Judge Pearson, a commanding figure, African-American gentleman, strong voice, big, deep, like Darth Vader voice, like James Earl Jones voice. He commanded his courtroom. You did not get up and leave. If he said don't get up and leave, this man was in charge of his room. But people respected those judges, and I got to know a few of them over the years. I suppose most of them are off the bench. But this Eleanor Ross apparently was just having her little tryst back there in Chambers. I need to see you in Chambers, officer. Is that not that's like a dirty movie. What's going on right now? Gives a whole new meaning to here come the judge. What?
Oh, gosh.
No, this is turning into it. Now, the Jefferson County story has become a national scandal. And she's not the first judge removed here in Jefferson County for just abusive tactics and just pure incompetence and tacky behavior. Now you got this federal judge. I mean, it just goes across the board. And like I said about the Jefferson County judge the other day, now this woman's qualified to be on the Supreme Court based on Joe Biden standards. Yeah, I said it. Isn't this amazing times that we live in? Look, states can handle these matters pretty quickly. We need a better process on the federal level to clean up the federal judiciary. Because you've got all the way to Judge Boasberg, for example. This guy in no way was following the law, and all of these cases that just happened to wind up in his courtroom when Trump was being accused of this and that. And then speaking of that, you got this E. Jean Carroll, this woman that completely faked a rape allegation against the president, won in a civil case. Now she's being investigated for perjury. Good. She should be. She made the story up. Nobody believes that stuff. The only people stupider than her are the people that believe that story. Do I have time for Bill? I got about a minute and a half. Bill, go, man.
Hey, a couple of things. You're talking about the judges. I understand fully. I mean, you got some bad characters in every profession, I think. And first thing, I assume that any ruling you get that is looks really bad, you would appeal, right? That besides the commission, I guess an appeal would be your option, right?
You mean if the JIC writes you up? Yeah, there's a whole process beyond that, but their finding is like an indictment, and it creates a suspension. She's not been removed yet, based on my knowledge, and then there'll be a process for removal after that.
But I guess I just want to make a comparison to some of the concerns we had in the country about police. I believe most police, like most judges, vast majority, I assume, are good folks.
Hey, Bill, hang on. If you want to finish, we'll do that on the other side. Good information as well. Back in a minute. Y'all stay tuned.